Let's try this again. Hello guys and welcome to United Weekly. Hopefully this time you can hear me. I'm hoping you can hear me. It's been a while since I have streamed. So yes, I apologise if you were tuned in a minute ago where you couldn't hear me. Long story short, I was recording some vocals for some music earlier, so I have to lower my mic down. I think that's what caused the issue. But yes, show, transfers, updates, daily news. So we're going to be talking about Sancho, Kunday, VARANE, Rice, Kingsley Coman, Harry Kane, Basuma and Kieran Trippier. But we're going to start with the big story, which is Harry Kane. For those of you that maybe have watched Sky Sports and or follow their YouTube channel, you might have seen Harry Kane's interview with Gary Neville on the Overlap, which was brilliant. If you haven't seen it, go watch it because it's a really good interview in which Harry Kane says he wants to be challenging for trophies. He does love Tottenham, but you can see that he wants to leave. Would United be the right place for him? Probably not if he wants to win stuff, because we're not there yet. Hopefully we can be, but a Harry Kane probably isn't going to sort our situation out. We need a lot more, as we've talked about on this show. Need a CDM, a centre back, right wing, and then we can look at replacing our strikers. But yeah, Harry Kane has been in the news because apparently there is talk of a potential Lingard and Martial plus cash for Harry Kane. So this has been sort of pumped around various news outlets and been around on Twitter and stuff. And the reason I don't think this is believable is I believe Kane is on 200,000 a week. And I'm sure it's about 200, maybe a little bit less, because Spurs have a salary cap. Daniel Levy doesn't tend to have a large wage budget. They've got very capped salaries over at Spurs. Lingard's on about 100 a week and Martial is on about 250 a week. So you're looking at getting rid of a player for 200k a week and bringing on two players for 350k. I just don't see it as being financially a good option for Spurs. And Lingard and Martial as a cam and I know Martial is playing striker, but is that the kind of player to replace Harry Kane at Tottenham? You got to think to yourself, would they really spend that amount of money in terms of weekly wage for two players when they can probably go out and get a Dembele from Lyon or something like that, where to replace Kane and not have to have this large wage budget increase. So Daniel Levy is a very shrewd businessman, very hard to deal with as well. So if we were to buy Kane, and that swap deal was to happen, they're probably still going to want another 60, 70, 80 million on top of that. Because Harry Kane's got 3 years left on his contract. So in terms of Harry Kane, I said on the watch along we did yesterday for the win against Wolves that if we got Harry Kane, would I be happy? Yeah, I'd be happy because it's Harry Kane. But I wouldn't be happy because that money could have been spent, basically elsewhere. Other than Harry Kane, like I said, on a centre back, a CDM, right winger. If we get Harry Kane and we blow a lot of our budget on Harry Kane, then we're just going into next season with McFred again, and just an overall weak bench. Our squad, we've always said it, our squad needs depth, and buying another striker when arguably our strike department, our attacking department has been great this year. We've had one of our best attacking seasons. Actually, I think our best attacking season since Fergie left. So, getting in a striker when there's other options, to me it just doesn't seem ideal. If you want my honest opinion, though, I would happily have Kane, but Well, I say happily. I would be happy to have Kane, but as long as we strengthen in other areas as well, and I don't see us doing both. The next story, Declan Rice. So Tuchel's basically reignited the Rice transfer rumours, basically saying that Rice is still a target. This has been reported by, I believe, it's the Daily Mirror, and it's basically the red papers. So whether there's much truth in that, I don't know. But as most of us know, Rice is a Chelsea fan, came from Chelsea before really blasting off at West Ham. So Chelsea's always been his preferred destination, and with Chelsea also getting Champions League football, I think that getting a Declan Rice is going to be really difficult for us. We're going to have to offer him something absolutely amazing in order to get Declan Rice. So fingers crossed. You never know. It's football. Things can happen. Things can change. So I'm hoping maybe we can get a bit of luck, because Declan Rice is my first choice for that CDM position. I've got him in both my FIFA team and my Football Manager team, and he's brilliant. He can also drop in at centre back if needs must. So all around he's a brilliant player. But like I said, I do see him going to Chelsea, and I don't think there's a lot that United can really do to stop that. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully football can throw us up one of those curveballs and we can sign him. Jadon Sancho, the big one. Oh, the big one. We spent all the summer thinking it was 99% done. Dortmund, I can't remember his name, the managing director of Dortmund, has come out and basically said Dortmund don't want to do any deals until after the Euros. This is very clever by Dortmund, because basically, as anyone knows, any football fan knows, after international competition like a World Cup or Euros, depending on how a player plays, depends on their value. So if we was to win the Euros and Sancho was amazing, it ups his price. If they were to sell him before, we might be able to get him for 80 million. If he doesn't do well at the Euros, we'll probably still get him for 80 million. But if he does really well, they'll up the price on him. It's a clever tactic, and from a business standpoint, you can't really be mad at it. But yeah, Jadon Sancho getting a move before the Euros is highly unlikely. But again, never say never. Jules Kunday. So there is, again, talk in various outlets and over Twitter that the things that he wants from a move is Champions League football, and he wants to be competing for silverware. Apparently Arsenal were interested, so Kunday's not going to Arsenal because they ain't even in European football, let alone Champions League. Apparently he's going to be going for around 50 to 60 million euros. And yeah, he's a quick, fast centre back. Again, someone I've got on Football Manager, and I don't watch a lot of other leagues. I don't really have the time to, so I've not really done too much in terms of analysis. I can't do too much analysis on Kunde. From what I've seen of him, he's very quick. He's very much of the Eric Bailly mould, sort of a no-nonsense centre-back, and would work very well against Harry Maguire. And he would be my number 2 target, because my number 1 target is someone else we want to talk about in terms of the centre-back position, which is Rafael Varane, who has a year left on his contract, but he's still undecided on whether he's going to leave Madrid. So that he could still sign a new contract for Real Madrid. But if he does decide to leave, again, this is one of those heartbreaking things, which we said on the stream yesterday. I didn't want Chelsea to get Champions League football, because getting Champions League football, they are going to be in the same they're going for the same bucket of players that we are. It's kind of like on Black Friday when everyone runs in to get the discounted video games and stuff. Like, you know, you and your mate are going for the same ones. Basically, that's what Chelsea are going to be doing in this transfer market. And I think Varane would probably end up going to a Chelsea over a United, as it stands right now, and with the right investment, which Abramovich has never been scared to do, which is invest in his club. The project at Chelsea probably would be more fruitful for a Varane, who is about 27, 28 years old. So coming over here with the chance of, I mean, I've tipped Chelsea as potential title challengers next season. So, you know, if I was Varane, and, you know, obviously I'm a United fan, but if I was Varane, you know, Chelsea would be more appealing to me, because there's more chance that you can win stuff, and plus he'd be playing up next to Thiago Silva, who admittedly hasn't had the greatest season this year, but he's still one of the most well respected centre backs in modern football. So, you know, it's like I've said a couple of times, it's you never know in football, but the history of how our board and that do transfers, you know, and are they competent enough to do them? I don't think so. So going up against the Chelsea, whenever another team like a Liverpool or a Chelsea or even Arsenal, you know, they challenge us for a player, they end up getting them, and then we say, oh, we were never interested. We just lost out because somewhere along the line our negotiating skills are absolute garbage. We can even get players down to the bloody training ground, give them a tour, meet Sir Alex, and they still won't sign for us. So it's obviously something to do in the negotiation parts of the deal that's faltered. And, you know, yes, we've got rid of Ed Woodward now, and he won't be conducting any of the transfer business over the summer. But we've got what's his name? Something Arnold. Can't remember his name. They're all the bloody same. That's what I was going to say. It's basically his mate. They're one of the Glazers' mates. So it's basically, get rid of Ed Woodward and put an Ed Woodward clone in to do the negotiations. So yeah, I have no faith in that deal happening. And now the next two stories, and our last two rumours. These came from Twitter. That I've seen today from a couple of blue ticks, which is Basuma potentially seeing James Garner go to Brighton on loan in return, which I would love that deal. If we don't get Rice, I would love that deal. One is it gives James Garner, one of our hottest young prospects, who's done bits for Nottingham Forest, it gives him a year in the Premier League. And we get arguably one of the best centre mid players in the Premier League. And Basuma, if you haven't watched him for Brighton, I mean, even playing against us, like he run the midfield and he was absolutely brilliant. And he'd be the perfect kind of player to go for. And if we aren't linked with him, I'd be heavily not linked with him. If we're not monitoring him, I'd be heavily disappointed in our scouting network, because he's definitely someone we could get in for like 30 million, and he would do a job. And I think he's way better than no offence to Brighton, but he's way better. He's a much better footballer than playing for a Brighton. He's definitely like a top 5, top 6 player. And then the other one is Kieran Trippier, who is being touted as a potential target to challenge Wan-Bissaka for his place, going in for around 15 million. For Trippier, you know, obviously one with Atletico, so that price might go up. I mean, I would take Trippier at the club as a backup right back, because, not being funny, but having watched Brandon Williams play in the last few games that he's played, it's just not ready. And to be honest with you, Don't know if he will be ready, but send Brandon Williams out on loan for maybe a season or two and see if he comes back a better player, but I don't hold high hopes. So yeah, that's our news stories for today. Tomorrow we do have our Europa League preview, which will be coming out in the evening at 8 p.m. So definitely tune in for that. And then obviously on Wednesday we have the Europa League final watch along, where hopefully we are celebrating a European trophy, and it would be an end to a very good season for us, a very progressive season. So for now, I've been Jay. This has been United Weekly, where we've got no agendas and we're forever red. Peace.